Hi, this is Tom with Export File, and in this video I'm going to go through the main screen. I'll start by showing you the ways to load a shipment. In the upper left, in the shipment number box, I can just type the shipment number in there and then press the Enter key. And there it is, I've loaded that shipment. I also have 4 other fields that you can use to load a shipment, and they're all purple. They are booking, MBL, ref, and PO. So for example, in the booking field, if I type in the booking number, and then click on the word booking, there it is, it's loaded that shipment again. Likewise in MBL, if I type in the MBL for that shipment, and I'll click on the MBL field, and there it is, it loads it. You can also do the same thing for the ref and the PO field. Now, the rest of the video, I'm going to show you some of the various ways to fill out a shipment, what all the various things on the main screen here do. But really quickly, I just want to go to what is by far the easiest way to fill out a shipment, and that is to just copy an old one. So I'm going to just reload that shipment by typing its number in here and pressing the Enter key. Here it is. And then I'll go to Tools, and then at the bottom here, copy this shipment. Now it gives me some options for how much of the shipment I want to copy. So if it has the same contents, if it's the same containers and the same items being shipped, I can just copy the cargo details. Also, if I'm going to be sending out the same invoicing for this, I can copy the accounting and the invoicing for the shipments. And also in some cases, you might even want to copy the vessel info and the dates for some cases. So that's an option too. I'll just leave it checked off with the cargo details, and I'll click copy. And here it is. So now it's loaded a new shipment with that new number. So 11196, the previous one was 11186. And here I am with everything's pretty much the same, except it's, of course, it's left the booking field blank, of course, and the dates are all blank too. To save a shipment, I have to have an ETD date, so I'll go ahead and put one in there and press save. And that's it. So by far, that's the easiest way to fill out a shipment. And now in the rest of this video, I'm just going to go through the various things here on the main screen. Go ahead and clear it. And I want to point out that a lot of these fields, you'll notice they have sort of a light yellowish orange background. And that means it's a field that you can type something into and it'll provide you with a list. So for example, I'll put the cursor here in the loading field and I'll type the letter T, and it's pulled open a list of UN locations that begin with T. And then I'll type in the letter H. And again, it's matched all the THs. I'll type in E here, and so on and so forth. You notice this one here has AES beside it, and that means that we have an AES code for this location. We're going to click on one and put it in there. Now you'll see the loading has turned green. That means we have an AES code for this location. I'm going to pick a different location here. I'm going to pick one without an AES code. And you'll see the label is now black, and that means it just has a UN location. I'll go through some of these other fields that we can get a list for. So all of the different parties for the shipment: shipper, consignee, notified, bill, forwarder, agent, routed by, the cargo locations here: cargo pickup, delivery, supplier, and truck. So those are all parties in the shipment. And these are things that you have to enter into the database yourself. Here in our test company, I've already entered in this list of shippers. I'll just go ahead and pick one of them. And it's automatically put the cursor in the consignee box. I'll go ahead and click A again. And it's a very similar list. I'll go ahead and pick the same company. And now the cursor is here in notify. And again, I'll just pick another company out of here. And there it is. And I'll go ahead and put a bill 2 in here. Same company. And the other contact fields, they're here in the lower section. So forwarder, agent, routed by, the different cargo locations, so on and so forth. You can fill all of these out in the contact manager. You can open that by clicking on one of the labels here. So for example, the word notify, I'll just click on that. And here's the contact manager, and you can create a new company with this button, or you can look up an existing company by just typing it in there. And there it is. There's also a whole video just on this contact manager. I'll go through some of these other fields. Carrier, let's type in a carrier here. Here's our list of carriers. Type in a vessel. Again, this is a list we provide. It's a list of vessels, service contract number, type in list here, there it is. Also, to fill out service contracts, you can just click on SC here, and now you can save or edit new service contract numbers. I'm going to move here, and I'll just type in the word door. I get a list of options there. The peer field, I'll type in the letter A, a list. Go through the dates. You can just click on these, and a calendar will come up. On the ETD here, and I'll go ahead and select a date 1 week in the future. And now that I have that ETD date in there, I can press save and get a shipment number. There it is. Now I have a shipment number. Go ahead and put in a reference number, and I'll go ahead and put in a PO number there. Save that. Also, here is the Schedule B section. This would be sent to AES if you file this with AES. So here's where I can type in a description. So I can type in, say, the word steel here, and it's pulling up a list of codes that have steel somewhere in there. And I'll go ahead and just randomly pick one of these. As you can see, it's filled in the number here. And in the second Schedule B place, I'll just type in that same number, 7208370. And as you can see, it's pulled up things that are in the same category here. So whether you know the number or you have a description, you should be able to find the Schedule B code with that. And next, I'll go through some of these green labels here at the upper part of the screen. So pending, this is basically just a toggle of whether or not the shipment is pending or closed. And these 3 labels are for the bill of lading. Cycle through them. The rightmost one is original, express release, Seaway bill. The middle one is rated or unrated. And the leftmost one is prepaid or collect. The mode label here, this is where you can change it to a shipment, a master consolidation, or consolidation item. I'll just leave this one as a shipment. And here the type, you can click on this and select which type it is. Export, ocean, air, other, so on and so forth. We recommend you use the ocean types rather than the other types. And if it's an air shipment, of course, you would choose air. Go ahead and show you really briefly what's in the export other section. So it just lets you open up this sort of free-form series of text boxes in which you could type a description of the cargo. Here's the user this is assigned to, so I can click on tester and I could change this to a different user and assign it to them if I'd like. Also, I can click here and I could assign it to a different office. Now I'll go down to the cargo section. So you can click on add cargo here, and then you can select which type of container to put in. Also, there might be cases where you have to put in a large number of containers, and you don't want to go through this to add 20 containers over and over. So in the top here, we have a drop down, and you can just select the number of containers you want to add. I'll keep that on 1 for now. I'll go find a 40 standard and add that in. So here's a 40 standard. I'll put in a container number and seal number. I'll put in a description. Let's say this is 100 pieces of all kinds. I'll just put in some weights and some measures and press save. So something you can do is you can just press the enter key and you can have multiple lines to describe this. Another thing you can do is click on the item button here to just add a new item. So now we have multiple items inside this container. So it's up to you. You can itemize every item if you want to, but what our users will often do is just type in one description for everything. Now I'll go ahead and add a different container just to show that you can add any combination of containers you need. Now I'll go through some of these tabs on the bottom. Messaging. So this is where you can edit and put in messages that everyone can read. If your customers are plugged into the client app, they'll be able to see these messages and they themselves can type in messages to you through this message box. Also, there's expand button. You can just open this into a slightly larger window here if there's a lot of text in there. The notes section. So this is something that only you in your company will be able to read. No customer would ever see this. This never appears on any documents. Also, it's a read-only system. So once you type new notes in here and click add, Now if I reload this shipment, go back to the notes, so those new notes are in there, and there's no way for me to delete these. So once they're in there, they're in there. Status, if the shipment has been filed with Intra, this is where you would see container events. So loadings and unloadings, for example, would appear here. On hold, when you create a shipment, by default, it's on hold. You just check here to release it. And it leaves a little note about who released it and at what time. Moving to the right, these are some more party fields: agent, forwarder, routed by, cargo pickup, delivery, supplier. And as I've mentioned before, you can just type in some letters here and pull up a list. Trucking, it's another party contact. And the dates field is just an extra place to put some dates. You can click on these to open the calendar. So there's a general comments field here. You can just type in multiple lines of comments, and this can be as many lines as you need it to be. And this will appear in most documents. Also to the right, here's a list of ITN numbers. This is important. If you're filing in with Intro, you'll need to put the ITN numbers in there. And that's it. We've covered most of the details here in the main screen. We try to make filling out a shipment really simple and easy in export file.